Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Andrew Robinson, and yes, I am a recovering audiophile, and I would like to welcome you all to this channel and to this review, which is kind of a part two, if you will, because a few weeks ago I reviewed Polk Audio's Legend L800, and some of you came away from that review thinking that I trashed that speaker or that I hated it, and honestly, I didn't hate it. I just thought that it was a very, very specialized loudspeaker aimed at a very specialized customer. But I also didn't want my entire opinion of that series of loudspeakers to be defined by the L800. So in the middle of the L800 review, or my time with it, I did request the L100 from Polk Audio, and they graciously sent it to me. And so here we are reviewing Polk Audio's Legend L100. Let's get into it. The L100 is a two-way bookshelf loudspeaker retailing for just under $1,200 a pair. It comes in two finishes, black ash or brown walnut, and it features a lot of the same materials and construction methods found on Polk's costlier L800. That is to say, it has the same 1-inch ring tweeter and the same 5¼ inch turbine mid-range woofer. It even has the same construction, i.e. the same cabinet design and finishes, which makes the L100 much more attractive at this price point, because at $6,000 a pair, I thought the L800s were a bit lackluster in that they didn't quite rise to the level of their price tag in terms of aesthetics. But here at roughly $1,200, the L100 does a very, very nice job, and it makes the L100 all the more of a value proposition. Value being relative. Some of you may sit here and say that for a two-way bookshelf at $1,200, that is relatively expensive. But in line with the rest of the Legend series, the L100 is the most affordable way into this series of products. If you watch a lot of reviews on this channel, you know that I do not get into specs, because at the end of the day, you don't listen to specs. You don't listen to white sheets, you listen to music. So how does the L100 sound? Well, the good news is that the L100 sounds almost indistinguishable from the L800, minus the whole stereo dimensional array technology, which in the L800's case could be a godsend and a curse. So the curse is gone, because the L100 sounds a lot like any other two-way loudspeaker, or at least it behaves a lot more like a two-way loudspeaker that you may have become more accustomed to, or that is more traditional. For whatever reason, from the L100 all the way up to the big daddy of them all, they are just hungry. They are just hungry speakers. They do require gobs of power. And so if you underfeed the L100, certain traits, certain sonic characteristics are going to be lacking. But if you power it correctly, then it has a very pleasing sound, a very nice sound indeed. And starting with the treble, the tweeter is, again, refined, very composed, and when powered properly, it has all of the airy, sparkly extension one could want. The mid-range, again, is very neutral or neutral-ish. It does have a slight bump in the low mid-bass range to give it a sense of there being more bass than that's present. And this causes, not for a coloration, but it definitely has a little bit more of a laid-back or darker tone to it. But the mid-range does mate very nicely with the tweeter, and there isn't so much of a sonic gap between the two, creating for a very, very nice, coherent, albeit slightly laid-back presentation. Bass is surprisingly good. If you have the right power amp connected to the L100, the extension and depth with which it can plunge is impressive. I'm not going to lie, it is. The fact that the L100 is a rear-ported speaker does mean that it is aided by some boundary compensation, so the closer you have it to your front wall, the more bass you can expect to have. But that comes at a cost, because the closer it is to the front wall, the more the soundstage depth kind of suffers. Out from the wall a good 2 or 3 feet, the soundstage is very nicely appointed and very deep, but bass will suffer. So if you move the speaker closer to your front wall, you can expect a little bit of a hump or boost in bass, but your soundstage is going to narrow considerably. And as for soundstage width, the L100s are not the best in terms of dispersion. And I actually had this complaint with their larger brother, because for the SDA technology, or that stereo dimensional array technology, to be present in the larger speaker, I expected insane amounts of dispersion. And I got great dispersion out beyond the edges of the speaker, but I always seem to have a little bit of trouble with center fill, that is to say, center imaging. And while the L100s are much, much better in that department, in my humble opinion, compared to their brother, they still don't quite lock in as firmly as some loudspeakers in this price category. The L100 therefore does benefit from a bit of toe-in. This isn't the end of the world, and this is a very simple thing that you can do to bring the speaker from, say, 90% to 100% in terms of center imaging. Just know that it's something that you likely are going to have to do. But it also means that the L100 isn't a loudspeaker that you're going to be able to get really creative with respect to placement. The L100 is not a speaker that you're going to want to put in a cabinet. It is not a speaker that you're going to want to put on a bookshelf. There are other speakers that do that or perform in those situations better. This is something that needs to be on a purpose-built stand and placed properly, just as you would, say, a floor-standing loudspeaker. But if you do all of those things and you adhere to the good principles of speaker placement and you power it correctly, that is to say, you follow Polk's recommended power amplifier suggestions, which is 70 plus watts of power, then the sonic experience that you should derive from the L100 is great, excellent even. This is a loudspeaker that is capable of truly, truly exemplary performance. And I want to stress that for all of its little caveats, for all of its little quirks, this is still a loudspeaker that you should not be afraid of, and that when driven and set up properly can sound exceptionally good. Fair? So what don't I like about it? Well, what I don't like about it actually isn't so much a knock against the L100 as it is kind of the rest of the Legend line. Because the L100 is that good, and when powered properly is virtually indistinguishable from the mid-range up compared to any of its other costlier or larger stablemates. And so I argue that if funds or space are limited, anyone that is interested in the Polk Legend series is better off buying the L100 and simply mating it to an outboard subwoofer. Because if you do that, not only do I firmly believe that the sonic or performance characteristics of the L100 with a sub will be equal to, if not the same, as what you will find with the L800, but you will have the flexibility of being able to put the bass in the right area of your room and thus increase and better its performance while having the loudspeakers properly set up for the optimal mid-range and treble performance, and all at a vastly, vastly lower price point. I argue that the L100 and maybe even the L200 really does kind of put pause on the reasons or rationale behind maybe why you would want the larger floor standing sibling, specifically even the L800. The L800 does have that SDA technology, and that is what makes it unique. But that SDA technology does not always help or bring the magic to every type of music or recording, whereas the L100 is a lot more even keel across a wider range of music and a lot more predictable in its performance, and that is its strength. Now, I still do not understand the thinking behind the L100's sensitivity. I don't understand why the entire Legend series on a whole is as inefficient as it is. The fact that the L100 is a 3 to 4 ohm loudspeaker that requires 70 plus, and let's be honest, 100 watts or more to fully kind of come into its own baffles me. And it baffled me about the L800, and it baffles me again here, because the L100 really should be the entry point to the Legend series, and it really kind of is only in price. Because all of the other caveats that come with the larger loudspeakers, i.e. power, placement, and all, its idiosyncrasies, they're all still present here with the L100. So the L100 may be more affordable, but you still have to do a lot of things correctly. in order for it to sound its best. But again, because it is constructed to the same quality or degree that the L800 is, but costs but $1,200 a pair, the L100 is a greater value proposition. All that said, on a whole, the L100 is a good, if not great sounding loudspeaker in the right conditions. Is it the best in its class? No, it's not. Is it going to be the best for everyone? No, it will not. Does it deserve to be auditioned and considered at this price point? Yes, absolutely it does. And if you are a Polk enthusiast, this is definitely a loudspeaker that you are likely going to want to check out. It's just not a loudspeaker that I am almost positive people will make the leap to or feel the need to upgrade from their existing Polk speakers to this. And on a last and obviously very personal note, there was something that I kept jotting down while I was evaluating the L100, and it's something that I jotted down when I was evaluating the L800, and that is, these are both very capable loudspeakers. I would even argue the L100 is more capable and more approachable for more people, therefore that makes it the better overall product. But as good as it is, as refined as it is, as arguably neutral as it is, there's just something missing about it. It's almost like it's too serious, if there is such a thing, or if you will permit me that analogy. The L100, the entire Legend line, I think lacks a certain sort of rebellious nature that I kind of want to see in a speaker or from a brand like Polk Audio. It's not a lively speaker. It's not a particularly dramatic speaker, and therefore it's not really that much fun. It's more of a clinical exercise. It is a speaker that will show you what is in a recording and translate that faithfully. And for some of you watching this, you may think that that is the entire point, and I do not fault you if you carry that opinion or have that view. But for me, I want to get goosebumps, you know, I do. I want to get goosebumps. I want to be moved, and it's okay for me, for a loudspeaker at times, to be fun and to have character. And the one thing that the Polk Audio Legend L100 for me lacks is character, is personality. And so if you are someone that values neutrality and doesn't want their loudspeaker imparting any sort of anything to the music, then you definitely should probably check out the L100. But if you remember Polk as being kind of a much more fun, ruckus loudspeaker of your youth, I don't think you are going to find that with the L100 or anywhere within the Legend series. So that's it, guys. That is my review of Polk Audio's Legend L100. Let me know what you thought of this video and this speaker down in the comments below. And if you liked this video, if you like the content that we are creating here, please do like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up. And if it's not too much trouble, go ahead and turn on those notifications so that you are notified when new videos drop each and every week. And I do want to give a special thanks to all of you that ventured over to Instagram and gave Christy's business a follow and a hello or a like. That was very awesome of you guys, and I know that I appreciate it. She appreciates it very, very much, so thank you for doing that. We just love the community here, everybody, we do. So all the new people, welcome. To all of our OGs, you guys rock. And, well, you know how we end things. The only person that has to like the sound of your system is you. So happy listening, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye. Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Andrew Robinson, and I am the I'm not doing that shit. I am is a little bit unique in many respects. No, it's not. And then let's talk about what makes it good, what makes it not so good, and then draw my own conclusions at the end. What the f is wrong with me today? I was so on a roll.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, I could. Katie's not even in the room. Today, my producer is my distraction.
I am so sorry. Please continue.
It's not. It just isn't. And that's not the... Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Oh my God.